Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and we're working very diligently on finishing up this flip house that we're doing. Last week we made a punch list for all of the interior work that needed to be done, and I worked on that diligently all week, and I finished almost everything on the list. There's only a couple of small things left, like installing the light in the living room, and a couple more very short little list like that. So now and while I was doing that, Barry's been working outside. So the only thing left then on the inside is for Molly to finish the painting. She's coming along quite well. She doesn't do this full time. She just comes over here as she can. She's got a lot of other things going on. So as soon as she finishes the painting, then Barry and I can do the flooring. And then I guess just this room needs baseboard. And then that'll be it for the inside. And so now he and I have to do a little bit of a powwow to figure out what we have left, mostly on the outside. We're getting real close here, folks. Okay, so we still got a couple of holes left to fix up there.
Yeah, so that's an old light where I moved it. I don't know what that hole's from. Then there's two on the side and front that we still have to fill in.
Right.
And then that's literally it on the exterior of the house.
Except for the railing on the porch.
Right.
And then we still got this thing down here.
Yeah, we were kind of debating
on
on what to do with this. These doors are in such rough shape. They're just put together badly and half rotten. So we are probably going to just be removing them completely and cleaning that area out 100% so that somebody would have the option of putting proper doors back or leaving it open as a carport or whatever. Just sort of
lawnmower port.
Yeah, just put it back into a blank slate, just because these doors, they're not in good shape.
Yeah. And I think it's too low to actually put a regular standard garage door in there.
Yeah, that's true. It would have to be something custom.
Yeah. So we're just kind of walking around taking stock of what we have left to do, and on the outside here there's just not much.
Oh.
The railing and a little bit of cleanup, and then the paint. Of course we have to paint the house yet.
Yeah, so I'm going to be power washing. We tried to get an estimate from a contractor to paint everything, but as usual he just evaporated. We haven't heard a single thing back. So I have a feeling we're just going to have to do it ourselves. We're going to save money, but that means it's going to be a little bit longer time, sort of a toss-up.
All right.
Which is okay. Okay, so the post will be on the outside here.
Yeah.
We'll do the bolts and that stupid bracket on the inside. And that'll line up with the post here. Punch through. We'll bolt it into the outside and then also box it. So there'll be a 2x8 here and a 2x8 here in the cavity.
Okay.
And one on the back. So we attach everything in together so the bottom of the 4x4 is completely boxed in.
Okay, so do we run one all the way? There's a joist here and a joist here. Do we run one all the way across from joist to joist and then do this, or do we just kind of box around?
It has to be joist to joist.
Okay.
So yeah, doing it across this way is probably better to do that first.
Yeah.
And then fill in the little gaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll get attached this way, this way, this way with the big nails. And then when we bolt it, it'll bolt through both of these layers, the 4x4 and the outside band, and tie that whole thing in together into one big block. So it'll be like a foot long.
It'll be a carriage bolt that goes through there?
Yeah, carriage bolt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same process for all of them all the way around.
Okay.
So these get cut, and then in the corner, and then one directly in the center. You can't have more than 6 foot span.
Right. So we're going to have one here too.
Yep. So on all 4 corners, one in the middle, and then 2, and then down the stairs.
Okay.
So if we can just get the posts set and get the boxes underneath ready, then we can fly with the balusters and the top railings. Okay. And it's 36 inches from here to the topmost piece.
So I've done a lot of decks over the years, but I haven't done one for 10 years, and I did one, the last one was in Pennsylvania, where they had not yet adopted the national building codes, and the codes have gotten stricter since then. So I had to get some instruction here of how to do this. This is considerably more complicated and time consuming and expensive than the way I used to do them.
Yep. But it's safe, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
The code again says that you have to be able to have less than a 1/4 inch deflection pushing at the top with 200 pounds of force. So that's why it has the big box in thing at the bottom, or those $30 brackets.
So we're going to use the brackets going down here because it's bolting onto the outside.
Correct.
But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 posts
That we don't have to use brackets.
that will do it in here instead.
Yeah, that'll be multiple hundreds of dollars for that little bracket, and it's absolutely not necessary. You can do exactly the same thing with 2x8s and nails.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Just in time for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so the post going down the steps will be mounted on the outside. So the inside edge of that post is right here. So we got to put the inside edge of that post right here. And then we have a double, we have a double 2x8 underneath running this way, so that's 3 inches. So we got to come in 3 inches. And a 4x4 is 3.5 inches right there. Six and a half. So there we go. That's where the post goes, so that's where I need to cut out the hole. I need to mark those all the way around. Just a hair tight. All right, perfect fit.
Right there.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Now Barry made this level, and then I put a screw in there. These are the screws that we use for the top decking. This is not code for anything structural, so we can't use screws to fasten all of this. I just put a screw in because it's fast and easy as a temporary thing to hold this plumb, and now I'll put all the bracing around it. So these little pieces complete the box, and I'm supposed to end nail this, but because of this, there's absolutely no way to get a hammer in there. I've tried every way I can think of, and it just won't work. So I'm going to screw it in, hope for the best as far as the inspector. I don't know what else to do. So that's about all I can do. I gotta trim this just a hair. Okay, so I'm now finished with this. Here's the bottom of the post, and this is the box built around it. The only thing left to do is put a carriage bolt through. We drill from outside and bring it all the way through into here. Put the bolt in there, put a nut on this side, tighten it up, that pulls it all together. That's the only thing left, but we don't have those yet, so we'll put them in when we get them in. So 8 more to go. What are you doing in here, Barry?
Making a mess.
Making a mess.
Making noise. Just a little bit of metal.
This is a mess in here.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we're just, what's that?
Almost all of the metal out. I found some pretty cool, super old artifacts. Like this guy. This, let's see, spring loaded like this, so I guess you catch something in here, like a wire or something, ow, and then pull, and it pinches it like it just did my finger.
Huh.
And it is patent November 29th, 1910, and then manufactured June 13th, 1911.
Wow.
So, yeah, this was made in 1911. It's in really good shape.
Huh.
So, pretty cool.
So this garage down here is just going to be cleaned out.
Yep.
And left as a bare slate.
Yeah, blank slate.
All right.
To show you a quick trick, I taped a neodymium magnet to my finger so that I can tell what stuff is aluminum or stainless or iron. That way I can separate everything out, because I'm separating the copper aluminum, brass, all that stuff out separately. So I have various piles. So code requires that the gaps here on this fence, on this railing, be no more than 4 inches. That's the space between the pickets and also the space under here. So I cut a spacer, I got a couple of them, 3 3/4 inches. So this is a 1/4 inch less than what's allowed, which gives me a little bit of leeway. So I'll use this to get the spacing all the way around. Now we do have a little bit of a problem with the railing where the door that goes into the garage, because we finished the deck. We finished the deck in line with this concrete piece here, right down there, and then there's a beam that goes this way under the deck, and this had to go inside of that. Which means now our railing is somewhat inside of the door. And so I'd say, well, we'll just stop the railing right here. Won't be a problem. But we still have to maintain no more than a 4-inch gap right here. So I've measured this. This is 3 3/4 inches. So our last picket will be right here, and then I'll cut this off at an angle, and then the board that goes on top will come to this point and then cut across at an angle to there. It's a little tight, but there is room for this, and the top will be here. So it's not the best situation. We could have maybe planned that a little bit better. So sometimes you just have to come up with creative solutions to make things work.
I'm not crazy about it, but it'll have to do. It'll work. Unless Barry has a better idea when he gets back. He's not here right now. Now these are the pickets beveled on one end that are going on the railing, and they'll be screwed on. But if I just go ahead and screw them on, half of them will split out. Ask me how I know this. So I'm going to pre-drill them to try to stop them from splitting. Clamp them together and use this for a nice straight line. Now I'm ready to start putting these pickets on to go out here, and I could just start at one end and run to the other end using my 3 3/4 inch spacer in between. But if I do that, there's a very high probability that the gap between this and the first post will be very different from the gap on the other end. And I much prefer it to be symmetrical. I want the gap to be the same. So when I first started doing this, I tried to do all kinds of complicated math to figure out what the gap would be at the end. Then I realized there's a much easier way. I just measure and find center, and I mark that. And then when I put the first post in, I put it right there on center. And then I just go both ways from there. And when I get to the end, the gap is the same. So that's how it's done. Boxed all the way around, and then 2 carriage bolts put all the way through and tightened up. So it looks like that. And this is kind of a pain because I can spend all morning, in fact I will spend all morning doing these on all of the posts, and then I stand back and I can't see that I've actually done anything because it's all underneath or hidden. So with this new way, for me anyway, of doing these posts, I really like the final product. This is the most solid deck I have ever built. It's really fabulous. But I do not like the installation process. It takes about 4 times as long as the old way that I used to do it. And so because of that, it feels like it's taking me, well, it is. It's taking me absolutely forever to do this. I expected to finish the railing on this deck in 2 days. I've been working on it for 4 days now, and I'm only done over to that point. So it's just taking me considerably longer than I expected. Also, this video is taking considerably longer than I expected. I got the the railing done on the deck portion over there. I still have to do the stairs. I got this little bit done. I still got to do all that. But the video is already long enough that I'm going to have to cut it off here. So this will be part 1. And then in part 2, I will show you how I do the railing for the stairs. Now here I use that metal bracket that's really expensive. And we just do it different. So I'll show you that in the next video. I hope you're enjoying this. Thanks for watching. Live simple, live free. You be blessed.